Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is our day 6 and today we are going to learn about Python strings, and this is the part second of video. Okay, so strings. Now today we will see the properties of strings and some methods which we will use a lot, just like our previous video. So today we will see these methods: swap case, count, ends with, is alpha, is num, is lower, is upper, and some other tricks or some other functions as well. So let's get started and let's study about. Hey guys, so we are back with our computer, and let's open Visual Studio Code and let's start with our strings. Okay, so here we are in our Visual Studio Code. This is our code from last video. If you haven't watched it yet, then I will give the link in I button now, and you can also find the link of the playlist in description. Okay, so first, today we are going to learn about some methods: swap case, count, ends with, is alpha, is num, is lower, is upper, and a lot. Okay, so first of all, let me delete this code, and here I will create a string. Okay, name is equal to, let's say, Python programming with Vedant. Okay, so this is our string now. Here, first of all, let us print this string normally. Okay, so we have this string printed here normally. Now let us use swap case. Okay, so what this swap case will do? Okay, so this swap case will convert uppercase characters to lowercase and lowercase characters to the uppercase, and the rest, like spaces, numbers, will remain the same. Okay, so let's run our code. As you can see, we have this P capital here. You can see the P small in this output. We have this P in lowercase in output and uppercase in string, as well as with all those characters. You can see all of these characters have changed their cases. Okay, so with using this swap case, we change or we swap the cases from, if the character is lower case, then it gets converted to uppercase. If it is in uppercase, then it will convert in lowercase. Okay, with that said, let's move to our next method. Okay, so first of all, we will add a label, you can say, to give it a clear idea. Okay, so swap case and here a comma. Okay, so let's move to our another method. Let us print uh, let us print the count of p in our string. Okay, so to do that, we will use name dot count. Okay, so what this count will do is basically it will take a character. So if I will enter p here, then it will search for p in this entire string, and it will return the number of times p is occurring, or the number of occurrence, or the occurrence of p basically. So let us save our program and let's run it. So you can see 2. Okay, so you can see there are 2 p's in our string. Okay, if I will change the string like AABBCCCC, okay, and let's say PPPPP. Okay, so we have p for 5 times here. Now let's run our code, and you can see we get p 5 times. Okay, so just like that, you can use your uh, count method. Okay, let me recreate this string. Okay, so we have our uh, string over here. Then we have our next method. So let us print name dot ends with. Okay, so what this ends with will do? So first of all, this ends with will return true if the character provided in these brackets is the last character of the string. Okay, listen carefully. The last character of the string. If we pass the last character of this string in this ends with function, or ends with method in these brackets here. Okay, if the string really ends with the character, then it will return true. If it doesn't, then it will return false. Okay, so let's check if our string ends with T. So yes, it's true. It is a boolean. Okay, so it returns a boolean and we get true here because our string ends with T. But if I will enter, let's say Y here, okay, we don't have a string ending with Y, so it will return false. Okay, so with that, you can check the string is ending with the character or not. Okay, so let me delete these lines. And with that said, we will move to our next method. So we have is alpha and is num. Okay, so what it will do if I will go here, name dot is alpha. Okay, is alpha. So this is alpha will check that are all the characters in the string are alphabets or not. Okay, so you can see here returns true if string is an alphabetic string, false otherwise. Okay, so if this string is alphabetical, then it will return true. If it is not, then it will return false. So we can store it in a variable like alphabetic is equal to. Okay, you can do this with all other methods as well. Okay, so let us print this alphabetic now. So what we are doing here is we are storing the output of this name dot is alpha in this alphabetic variable, and we are printing this alphabetic variable. As simple as that. So let us run our code and we get false. Why do we get false? Because we also have strings here, sorry, spaces here. Okay, so spaces are like characters in string. Okay, so they are characters of string. So if we remove these spaces here, okay, so by removing these spaces now, we can use underscores or we can use nothing here. Now we are going to get true here. Why? Because now all the string characters are alphabetic. Space is not an alphabet. Therefore, we were getting false output here. Okay. So with that said, we can get is alpha is equal to true or false like that. And we have is num as well. Okay. So what this is num will do? Okay, so I think I made a mistake. So is numeric. Okay, we have is numeric. It returns true. Okay, you can see here it returns true if string is numeric and false otherwise. Just like alpha, it will return string is numeric or not. So first of all, let us change our string to 1234. Save it, and here I will change it to numeric, and this will also be numeric. Okay, and now let us run our code. So you can see we get true. But if we have a p here or a v here, okay, so v is not a numeric character, so we get false. Okay, so like that we can use is numeric. There are a lot, is decimal and is alnum, a lot of them. You can check them on the documentation. I will give the link to the documentation in the description. Okay, so with that said, I will first of all delete these lines. And okay, so we have this Python programming with Vedant string. So our next function, our next method, let's move to our next method. In our previous video, we saw that we can print this string in lowercase by doing like this name dot lower. By using this lower method, we can get the string, or we can convert the string to lowercase, and with using this upper, we can convert the string to uppercase. Okay, just like that, what we are going to do here, what we are going to see, we are going to see is lower and is upper. Okay, so if the string is lower, then we will get true. If the string is not lower, is upper, or is mixture of lower and uppercase, then we will get false. Okay, so if it is uppercase, this is upper will give true. If it is not in uppercase, it will return false. Returns true if string is in uppercase string, and false otherwise. Okay, so you can read this description here. So first of all, let us change all the characters to lowercase, or what we can do this instead. We can first of all do is name is equal to name dot lower. So what it will do is First of all, we are converting this name to lowercase, and then we are storing this lowercase value of this name string in this name. So we are overwriting our name string basically, and then we are checking if it is lower or not. Okay. So let us add this string here or label here. Uh, Lower. Let's say is lower. Okay. So is lower or not, and let's add this similar string here just with is upper. Okay, so is upper. So now we have converted our string to lowercase, and therefore we will get true for is lower and false for is upper. Let us check that. Okay, so yes, we get true for is lower and false for is upper. Just like that, if you will override the string with name dot upper, so basically just see carefully that we are converting this name, okay, this name to uppercase first, and then we are storing this uppercase name in our name again. So basically we are overwriting this name string or this name variable with name dot upper name or name dot lower, and then we are checking for these conditions. Okay, so let's run our code again. So now we get is upper is equal to true and is lower is equal to false. Okay, so like that we can check for the uppercase or lowercase strings. Okay, with that said, let us move to our next method. Okay, so now let us print name dot capitalize. Okay, so this is another method we have. So what this capitalize will do, this will return a capitalized version of string. Okay, so more specifically it will make the first character have uppercase and rest lowercase. So if we have this Python programming with Vedant string, we will get Python we get P capital and then all the other characters in lowercase. Okay, so just check this out. Yes, we get this P capital and we get Python here, and then programming will run all in lowercase. Okay, so just like that, when you use a title or something, just like title, basically title, what title will do is it will capitalize all the first letters of the words. That means the capitalize will make these P, P, W, and V to uppercase, and this capitalized, sorry, title will do this P, P, W, V capital, and this capitalize will simply make this uppercase and all the other to lowercase. Okay, so with that said, we are going to our next concept. Okay, so our next concept is, first of all, I will make this string shorter. Okay, just make it like Python programming. Okay, so we have this string here. So now we will see how we can access the characters in the string. Okay, so if I will print name and in these square brackets, if I will pass 0. Okay, as I have mentioned in my previous video, the counting in Python or any other programming language begins with 0. Okay, so you count it like this: p is 0, y is 1. Okay, so 1 0 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so if I will pass 0 here, then you can see that I will get p here. Okay, so this is index 0. Okay, and the one method which I forgot to show you is name dot index. Okay, so if I will use the character here, so we pass n here, and then we can see, yes, we can see this 5. What is this 5? This 5 is the index of the character n, and keep in mind that this index method will just target the first occurrence of this character. Okay, so this index method will search for the n in this string from left to right, and the first occurrence of this character will be printed. Okay, so we get 5 here. If I will pass let's say p here, capital P, because small p and capital P are different, so pass capital P. Okay, then we get 0. Why? Because the P is the first character in the string. Okay, just like that, we can get the index of the characters. So back to our point, if I will pass 0 here, okay, so name this square brackets and 0, what it will do is it will act, we can access the name's first character, okay. 0 stands for the first index in programming. So and let's run it. So we get this p here, okay, because p is the 0th index. If I will print 5, then we can get n here, okay. So as you can see, we can do like this. So if now if I want to print from 0 to the entire string, I can use it like this: 0 colon, okay. So 0 is starting, after this colon we provide an ending point, okay. So from 0 end is nothing, so what it will do, it will basically print all the characters from starting to the end, okay. So we can access all the characters in the string from 0, starting from 0, okay. So you can see we get all the string here. If I will pass 5 here, okay, then we can see n space programming, okay. So run it. So you can see n space programming. Why? Because n is the starting point, okay. So you can play with these values to get a clear idea of it. So we have our third argument as interval, okay. So if I will pass 1 here, so basically if I pass 2 here, then we will get p, sorry, so let us make it 0, okay. So what it will do now, it will start from 0, okay. So from p, and it will go up to this point. So it will basically print all this string but with interval of 2. So what it will do with this interval value, it will print this p first, then with interval of 2, so t, then with interval of 2 o, then with interval of 2 this space, then r, then g, okay. So you got it. So just like that, it will print P here, Y is missing, excluded, then T here, then H is excluded, then O here, then N is excluded, and the space, then R, then G, then A, then M, then N, and then this exclamation mark. Okay, so with this value, you get interval. Okay, so if I will pass 3 here, then with the interval of 3, it will exclude the values in between. So it will print P, then H, then space like this. Okay, so save it. Okay, sorry, save it, and then let's clear our terminal and run our code. So you can see this is our string. Okay, so just like that with using 0. So I will explain it again. So what values do we have here? So in this print function, you can simply access it like this. So you can substring, you can create a variable called substring or anything you name it, and you can pass this name, let's say 0 to ending with 3 index, okay, or 3 interval, sorry, or 2 interval. If I will save this in this substring, and if I will just simply print this substring here, then we can see the same output. Okay, so let's run our code. Okay, so you can see the same output with this code. Just like that, you can store it in any variable. So now let me just tell you the values which we pass here. So in this name is our string. Okay, so first value is starting point. Okay, starting point, let's say. Okay, then the second point, or then you pass a colon here. If you want the entire string, okay, then you pass empty space here. And if you don't want to get entire string, if you want to print just Python, then what you can do, you can count from here: 0 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so this is index 5, so we want it up to 6 because we want this 5, we want up to 6. Okay, so you can pass 6 here. Okay, but I want the entire string, so I will keep space here, and this is interval. Okay, you can say here limit. Okay, so starting point, limit, and interval. Okay, so let us print our string like that. Print. Okay, so what is our first? We provide the name of string, then these two square brackets. So what is the starting point of our string? I want 0 as a starting point. Then up to what limit our string should be printed. I want my string up to Python or up to n, the first n in the string. So I will pass here 6. Why? Because I want the 5. I don't want the sixth character. I just want the fifth character. And so I am giving it up to 6. Okay, not 6, up to 6. Then we give the third argument, which is interval. I want interval of 0 or 1. Okay, one will basically do nothing because the interval one will just simply print the each and every letter. But if I will give 2, then it will print P, then T, then O. Okay, so if you don't provide this value, then uh, no matter what, it will print the Python word. Okay, so let's save this and let's print this. Okay, so you can see this Python word here. Okay, so just like that, you can access the characters in the string. So do practice this at home, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.